Yeah.
AEW Double or Nothing is officially over and done with. It's in the books. We are going to get into it. I also watched NXT Battleground simultaneously with Double or Nothing. So I watched Double or Nothing via laptop, and I watched NXT Battleground via tablet. I don't understand why AEW insists on doing these long, drawn-out shows. What pissed me off, why did this show go out the air at 12:30? Why? For what? This show should have went out the air by either 11 or 11:30 max. That is it. Less is more. NXT went off the air at 10:45. I don't understand why AEW cannot use time management. Less is more. Grasp the time management concept. It's real. I get you want to produce a long pay-per-view because most of your audience is going to be off anyway for Memorial Day. So I get it. But at the end of the day, you still don't need a 4.5 hour pay-per-view. You just don't need it. You really don't. That's too much. That's way too much. So we're going to get into Double or Nothing from May the 25th, 2025. I'll be honest with you guys. This pay-per-view was, to me, kind of a letdown. There were only like 2 or 3 matches that I really enjoyed from this show. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. It was the women's Owen Hart Cup tournament final. Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Mone. Mercedes Mone gets the win. She wins via basically a roll-up. She hit a DDT, and then she followed it up with a roll-up for the 1, 2, 3. So, I mean, there's that. The match was pretty hard-hitting. You know, tombstone power drivers here and there, which was great. A bunch of heavy lariats in the match as well. German suplexes, kicks, power bombs, backstabbers, bank statements, statement makers. So the match was pretty decent. Mercedes winning basically was a no-brainer anyway. We all knew this was going to happen. It's the biggest match that AEW can do at All In for the women. And it was inevitable. I feel bad for Jamie Hayter. I do stand by what I said in my AEW Dynamite review. I don't think that Tony Khan is going to renew her contract whenever it is up. I think that he'll end up passing on that offer. I mean, passing on, on renewing her contract. She needs to either go to NXT or TNA. If we're being honest, I feel that time has passed Jamie Hayter by, and that's just what it is. Me personally, this should have been the co-main event because the co-main event that we got was utter bullshit. So, there's that. Moving on. This leads us into FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. FTR, they get the win. This match was entirely way too long. Basically, they get the win via submission. So that's fine, but this was just way too long. By this time, NXT had already finished up 2 matches. There were already 2 matches in between the opener of AEW and the second match on the show. So, I don't get it, man. But this was not important. Moving on. This was just a waste of time. And this is what pissed me off, because I'm pretty sure the match probably went a good 20-something minutes. When the match didn't need to go that long. The match should have went about 15 minutes. Like, come on. Less is more. Everybody cannot get a 20 to 25-minute match. It just can't fucking happen. Excuse me. And there's no need for it. There is no need for it. There is nothing on the line. Nigel wrestles seldomly. So, I don't get it. Whatever. Moving on. Another match that really didn't need to be on the show at all. That was the stretcher match between Mark Briscoe and Ricochet. Ricochet gets the win. He basically hits a spirit gun onto Mark Briscoe, and he pulls him into the stretcher, and the ambulance drives away, closes the doors, and he wins. Who cares about this? This match could have taken place on Dynamite or Collision. Take your pick. I don't give a damn. It was blood because Ricochet, he was a vampire. He ended up biting into the head of Mark Briscoe, causing him to bleed. I think Ricochet also stabbed Mark Briscoe with a pair of scissors. Mark Briscoe's ended up, taking the scissors away and everything else. Trying to go after Ricochet. So, whatever. I mean, this shit is not important at all. Who cares? Moving on. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, they defeat the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, to retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. MJF was out there. He ended up getting involved towards the end of the match, but Bobby Lashley was like, nah, I got this. So Lashley ended up spearing, I believe it was Dustin, through the barricade, took him out, and then Benjamin hit a running knee, and that's what won then the match. So match was okay, but it didn't need to be. The match really should have been like a squash match, like a 2 to 3 minute match, really, honestly. I mean, come on. Like, get real. Like, this match went on for, I think, a good 8 to 10 minutes, and it didn't need that. It just didn't. Like, nobody cares about Sammy Guevara, and no one cares about Dustin Rhodes. I mean, I like Dustin Rhodes, but he's better off being just a producer. But, who wants to see Dustin wrestle? Like, come on. My bad. It's 2025. Let's not go back to 2019 or 2020 anymore, all right? Let's move on from that, please. That was 6 years ago. So, there's that. For some odd reason, Cedric didn't show up. I thought that Cedric Alexander was going to show up, but he did not. But I'm guessing in due time he'll show up eventually. At some point, I'm still guessing the story is going to be the Hurt Syndicate turning on MJF at some point, or MJF turning on them. I mean, either way, it's going to lead to MJF versus Bobby Lashley at All In. Like, that's where it's going. So they got about a month and a half to do that. They've got time for that. So we'll see how the shit turns out. Moving on. This leads us into Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kazuchika Okada for the AEW International Championship. Kazuchika Okada wins. I don't care about this. I really don't. This is a waste of time. Okada wins via the Rainmaker. It's not that important. This match didn't need to be on the show, if we're being honest. Really, this should have been like a 5 to 6 match card. Like, most of this card didn't need to have these matches on there. Like, I don't know what AEW's doing. Let's just move on. Next, a match that I did enjoy was Thomas Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship. Match was solid. Match was fun. Bunch of power moves here. Mina worked the leg of Toni Storm. And then Toni ended up getting the win via the Storm Zero. There were a couple times in the match where Mina tried to hit the figure 4, and Toni was able to counter and everything else. So She ended up hitting the big package towards the end of the match, which was great. So that's cool. Post-match was great because Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa, they shared a kiss, which was amazing. And the crowd fucking popped, and I did too. I was like, oh, hell yeah. I'm into this shit. Let's go. This is what we need more of. This was great. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. The match itself, like I said before, was solid too. So, makes perfect sense. Next, this leads us into Anarchy in the Arena. I don't care about this. This is just a spot fest heavy match. It was just weapons galore, nonsense galore. Towards the end of the match, Mark Briscoe came out to basically fight off the Bucks or whatever. So the finish came when it was Swerve who hit the Swerve Stomp via having, his shoes on with spikes, with thumbtacks in his shoes. So, there's that. It was just a bunch of brawling in this match here. Not really all that important. Kenny Omega ended up hitting a one-wing angel to Matthew Jackson through a production table, and then we had some sparks, which caused a little mini explosion. Not really though, just a bunch of sparks from the cables. So that's fine. Not all that important. Again, the match was so. I don't care about Anarchy in the Arena. I'm over that shit. It's boring. If you like it, cool. You might need to have your head examined a little bit, but I'm over the Anarchy in the Arena bullshit. Just do like I guess just kind of end that tradition and move on from that and do something else. But whatever. Again, I don't care about the match. Moving on. This leads us into the next match, which never should have taken place at all. This should have been on Collision or Dynamite. Take your pick. I don't care. It was the Paragon, which is Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong versus the Don Callis family. Tenosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Josh Alexander. The Don Callis family win. Kyle Fletcher gets the win via the Brain Buster. And that was it. Who cares about this shit? And then post-match, the Paragon, they were beaten down by Lance Archer, who was there for whatever reason, along with Roppongi Vice. They came out and beat down. And then the save was made by Brody King, Tomohiro Ishii, and the president of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. And, that was it. So, who cares? I don't give a shit about this at all. Basically, the baby faces took out the heels, and that was it. Main event of the evening, Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page. Men's Owen Hart Cup final. Hangman Adam Page gets the win via the buckshot lariat. Match was actually pretty good. I liked the start of it. I liked the beginning because they slowed down. But towards that middle and towards the end, they just let it all hang out. They let it all out. Will Ospreay went full Ospreay. He ended up doing Styles Clash on the outside. And then that led us into the horrific table spot, which was hilarious. So Will was trying to do the Stormbreaker or the Tiger Driver through the table, and then Hangman reversed that, and he was about to do the Deadeye, and then the table just explodes, which was hilarious as fuck to me. And then Hangman ended up hitting the Deadeye on the announce table wreckage. Then Will Ospreay and Hangman went for the... Well, Ospreay went for the hidden blade. Hangman ducked out of that. Then, Ospreay went for the V-trigger. He hit that. He was about to do the one-wing angel. Hangman countered that into a big pressure. Ospreay kicked out, and then Hangman was gonna go for the buckshot. The buckshot again. Ospreay blocked that, and then Hangman was able to block that, and then he hit a lariat into the buckshot for the 1, 2, 3. And post-match, Hangman celebrates. Then, the pyro and confetti go off. Then Hangman, he walks up the ramp for a brief moment, comes back down. Him and Ospreay, they kind of dap up a little bit, and then that was it. So, there's that. Double or Nothing, at best, was okay. It could have been better, if we're being honest. Again, we did not need at least 4 matches on this card. We didn't need them. We didn't need the Paragon and the Don Callis family. We didn't need Mark Briscoe and Ricochet. We didn't need FTR and Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. We didn't need that. There were just matches on this show that we didn't need. We didn't even need the Hurt Syndicate and the Sons of Texas. We didn't need that either. So there's at least 4 or 5 matches that you can come up with that didn't need to be on the card at all. But, what's done is done. But Double or Nothing, at best, was okay. It could have been better, but whatever. I just wish that Tony Khan could get a grasp on time management. That would be a lot better. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.